when I was in college, I knew I had friends who didn't work. They didn't do anything else but focus on school because their parents had done things that allowed them to have that luxury. So I mean, and I think that's what's cool. So what's cool about having the parents involved and the kids involved because they work together.
Exactly.
These assets are family assets. They're not individual assets. If I have a home that's for my son, it's still my home.
Exactly.
It's just the family's home and the family stock portfolio that we can leverage into other opportunities and things like that. So it's a family asset, really.
Exactly, and that's why when people purchase their ticket for the class, it's actually a family registration because we feel like it has to be like all in. Even like for one of the classes that I'm super excited about is our college planning course, and that course is amazing because I think like so many of us go to school and we go for something that does not make money when we leave school, right? So I know people that have an earth science degree that they paid $100,000 for. Insane. And so this one is just kind of like, I don't want to see kids make the same mistakes that I saw a lot of my friends do. Like some of them don't even have the privilege to own a home because their debt to income ratio is so high because of the student loan debt. So I don't want to see more kids miss out on the opportunity to own something because they went and got that same amount of money in student loan debt, right? Yeah. And so one of the teacher, her rule is like, it has to make sense financially with the tuition, whatever the salary is for that job when you get out. So if you're going to be an engineer and it's $80,000, $80,000 is the max you can borrow, right? So, and then just other different strategies that we talk about to help kids kind of go to school at the most affordable way possible. So that's another course that we're offering.
I like it. It's so funny. When I was in college, that was one of the main things I was harping on. It's like, man, like, why are we getting degrees that don't pay?
Exactly.
You're paying for the degree. Yeah. Let's make sure that the degree is going to pay you. And you see people going to school because it's the easy route. But really, once you get years out, you realize, like, college was actually the easiest years of your life. They're the most fun years of your life. They're the most laid-back years of your life. So why not ramp up the difficulty a little bit and get something that's going to be something long-term, even if you have to stay a little bit longer.
Exactly.
So, like, it's like when you are looking at 4 years, you're like, oh, that's so much time. And then as you get, like, when you're out of school, I've almost been out of college for 20 years.
Right.
20 years? Yeah, almost like 20 years, I think. I graduated in 2009, so it's like 11 years, whatever.
Okay.
But I've been out for a long time. But when I was in it, I thought it was never ending. I was just miserable. And then you look back like, man, I could have taken an extra semester and double majored. I could have taken an extra year and boom, 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 just got my master's straight through. So
yeah, but it's just got to make financial sense because I'll be honest, like I know people that literally go get master's degrees because they don't know what to do with their life. And I think that's a horrible decision to say that I'm going to get a $50,000 master, graduate degree because I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. So we're gonna stop those bad decisions and make the teenagers really think about it and make sure the parents are all on the same accord and we're helping them with the FAFSA. We're really like getting in there. It's a really great course. So cool. and then also talking about entrepreneurship for kids. When you look at Chicago, where I live at, we have double digits unemployment for Black males. Double digits. It's crazy. So let's just be honest. A lot of times our only option is going to be to own our own business. So that's so important that we are teaching teenagers that you might get these degrees or you may decide not to, but you might have to actually go grind for yourself and get your own business. And so I think that, they need to be equipped with that because that's going to be a reality for a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said that for a long, we agree on a lot of things. I think when we were on the podcast, we realized that.
Yeah.
But I've said that in a lot of instances, I'm not an entrepreneur because, like, I just chose it. It's like I have to be an entrepreneur. I have to go out there and build my own. Because we're talking about unemployment, but let's also talk about, like, promotional opportunities or wages when you do get into these spaces and you're not being compensated what you should be compensated. And so it's like just different levels of, I guess, disenfranchisement. I wouldn't necessarily call it oppression, but it's like you're only going to get paid your worth if you go out there and create it. But the crazy thing is so many of the benefits start to compound when you go out there and you create your own. You start being able to make massive amounts of money. Yeah. I tell people that, like, one business can save your whole family. Like Henry Ford, they started Ford Motor Company, and everybody in the family didn't have to go start their own company. Nah, Ford paid everybody.
Yes,
Walmart paid everybody.
Exactly.
And then also, it's just the opportunities that you can put people into, being able to supplement their lifestyle. So I'm heavily, heavily pro entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. And so that's, we are finally into the schools in Chicago. And I've been basically selling our books, and then we do workshops, and just like the reception from the kids, they love it. They come up to me after after we do our workshops, and they're just like blown away, and they love it. And so now we're going into the high schools, because one of the principals was like, this needs to be in the high schools. You don't need to just keep doing the middle school. You need to get to the high school. So now we're like going into the Chicago public high schools, because we know that like they don't have the best graduation rates, and they have like, it's so much violence, and it's just so much that goes on. And so this can be like a glimmer of hope for some of those kids,
Yeah. I think it's great. I would like to see it in California. I don't know if it's going on in California, but I mean, if I can in any capacity help facilitate that, I would be all for it. Because
that's our goal. Like, we want to be in every urban neighborhood in the country. Like, I just started 2 years ago, so it's slow, but I'm definitely, I want to get wherever the need is possible.
Yeah. Cool. I don't see any questions inside the chat.
Yeah. Let's see. And then I'll put the website, so if anybody wants to go and register for it. And I am going to actually put the course on sale. So you can get it 50% off tonight or tomorrow. The course is $297. And so you can get it 50% off. You register tonight or tomorrow. It'll be an automatic discount, so you don't even have to use like a code or anything like that. And actually, I think I sent you an affiliate link, so you can.
Let's see.
I hope it went through.
Let's see. I'll drop it in my link right now.
Okay. I am in Chicago.
So,
you're in DC, and you bought 7 little books for your son. Oh, nice. I hope he enjoyed them. And so I would love to have him in for our courses. Oh, well, he's probably younger. This is for our teenagers. That's for you, Todd, I think.
Oh, about the
something about this. Yeah.
It's interesting because we were yesterday, because I bought like a bunch of the books, and I like that they're just like easy to grab. And there's so many of them, because my son, he picks the book he wants to read. Last night he picked one of them, and we were reading it. It was just kind of cool. He could just grab it and we just go and he reads it. But it's like second nature almost. He's been reading it so much that as he grows, he'll be able to tell me the story. He'll start reading the story to me. So it's like it becomes ingrained. We get all these stories that don't add value or don't add to the bottom line. Like, they can tell you about the cartoons. They can tell you about Daniel the Tiger, and those stories teach lessons, but these teach lessons too. They're even better.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what I've noticed is that's what books do for kids. They teach lessons. And so we haven't really been getting the financial lessons that we need to get, and so now we get it. I like it.
Yeah, that's one thing I had a criticism for as well, is that like my kids kind of go to a mixed school, so it's like they get in books like Pippi Longstocking to read. Like, it just drives me nuts. So I definitely have our own library here where we teach, have them read different things, because, like, some of the stuff does not make any sense. I get the idea of wanting to read, but we need to make sure that what they're reading makes some sense. So thank you for saying that.
What's interesting is it's like when you look at other communities and they have private schools, and so they can teach them what they need to teach them. Or even if they have school on like a Saturday, or they have school like in the evenings, and so they can teach them the stuff that's really going to elevate them. So sometimes it can feel as though we're like have to be ashamed for wanting to teach kids how to not struggle financially. When we shouldn't have to be ashamed for that. Like, that should just be common sense. Like, you're going to get this education. It's expected of you to have this knowledge. And then we're going to go for it. You're supposed to know how to invest in real estate. You're supposed to know how to buy stocks and manage your portfolio. You're supposed to know how to start your own business. And it should just be a given. And by taking control and doing that, it starts to become the norm, as opposed to something that's like, oh, you learned about stocks, you're too young for that. Like, no, you're never too young to learn.
No, and I think that's another like one of my hurdles is that like when I'm talking to some, I like that I'm in the schools because some of these kids are never going to probably get a book because their kids' parents may not afford it, or they may just, their parents are not interested in buying the books. But I like that the school system can actually give them these books and they have access to it because I get parents that will come to different vending events and they're like, oh, we don't need the books because our kid is 2 or we have a baby. And I'm like, you should be reading to your kid when you're like pregnant. Like when I was pregnant, I was going to law school, so I was reading my law books to my son. But yeah, I just never understood that because like my mom read to me like when I was like really young. So at 2, I was like a really good reader. So in my mind, like that was always the thing. You always read into your baby. So when you like hear people make statements like that, it's scary. Like, so when are you going to start reading to them? Like, what do you mean they're a toddler? Like, you read to them when they're like a baby, so or in the utero. So yeah, I'm glad that you understand the value of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else is there to talk about?
I think that's about it. So if you guys, our class starts April 2nd, and so it's 5 courses every Saturday at 11 a.m. And so basically, if you guys want to register, it's on littleowners.com. I did put it into the comments, and each registration is for a family. So we really want the parents to be involved and at least show up to the college planning courses because that's going to be really, really important. But otherwise, if there's no questions, I will let you guys go. And thank you so much for coming on this evening. I know you're super busy, but appreciate you coming, kind of talking to some of the parents about what they can expect.
So it's littleowners.com, right?
Yes.
Let me put this.
Yeah, I don't think it's any more questions. So I'm going to save the live so people can go. Thank you. So people can go and rewatch it. And I will see you. I believe your class is the April 29th. So I'll connect with you. Yep, I'll connect with you then. And then otherwise, everyone have a very good evening. See you soon.
Alrighty. Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye-bye.